Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Devara Alindi. Di sini saya akan mereview sebuah jurnal yang berjudul Face Detection and Recognition Using Back Propagation Neural Networks dengan mata kuliah Artificial Intelligence. Case discuss. Face recognition is very important for our daily life. It can be used for remote identification service, for security in areas such as banking, transportation, law enforcement, and electrical industries. For this security access project is aimed at demonstrating facial recognition techniques that could antiquate, substitute, or otherwise supplement conventional key and can be used as an alternative to existing fingerprint biometrics method. Whilst facial recognition systems are by now readily available in the market, the vast majority of them are installed at large open spaces, such as in airport halls. Face recognition is a visual pattern recognition problem. In detail, a face recognition system with the input of an arbitrary image will search in database to output people's identification in the output image. Face alignment aims at achieving more accurate localization and at normalizing faces 3D, whereas face detection provides a coarse estimate of the location and scale of each detected face. The face is usually further normalized with respect to photometrical properties such illumination and grayscale. After a face is normalized geometrically and photometrically, feature extraction is performed to provide effective information that is useful for distinguishing between faces of different persons and stable with respect to the geometrical and photometrical variation. Related networks. Artificial neural networks. An artificial neural network is an information processing paradigm that is inspired by the way biological nervous systems, such as the brain, process information. Artificial neural network, like people, learn by example. An artificial neural network is configured for a specific application, such as pattern recognition or data classification, through a learning process. Trained neural networks can be thought of an expert in the category of information it has been given to analyze. Type, types of neural networks. First, with forward neural networks. The with forward neural networks are the first and arguably simplest type of artificial neural networks device. In this network, the information moves in only one direction forward from the input nodes through the hidden nodes evenly and to the output nodes. There are no cycles or loops in the network. Second, single player perceptron. The earliest kind of neural network is a single layer perceptron network, which consists of a single layer of output nodes. The inputs are fed directly to the outputs via a series of weights. In this way, it can be considered the simplest kind of feed-forward network. The sum of the product of the weight and the input is calculated in each node, and if the value is above some threshold, typically zero, the neuron fires and takes the activate value, typically 1. Otherwise, it takes the deactivated value, typically This one, neuron with the neuron with this kind of activation function are also called McCulloch-Pitts neurons or threshold neurons. Next, multilayer perceptron. The multiplayer neural network consists of an input layer, one or more hidden layers, and an output layer. Each layer is made up of units. The input to the network corresponds to the attributes measured for its training tuple. The input are fed simultaneously into the units making up the input layer. These inputs pass through the input layer and are then weighted and fed simultaneously to a second layer of neuron-like units known as a hidden layer. The outputs of the hidden layer units can be inputted another hidden layer, and so on. The, the number of hidden layers is arbitrary, although in the practice, usually only one is used. Next, backpropagation. Backpropagation is a common method of training artificial neural networks so as to minimize their objective function. It is a supervised learning method and is a generalization of the delta rule. It requires a dataset of the desired output for many inputs, making up the training set. It is most useful for feed-forward networks, networks that have no feedback or simply that have no connection that loop. The term is an abbreviation for backward propagation of errors. System implementation. First, feed-forward backpropagation. A feed-forward network consists of a series of layers. The first layer has a connection from the network input. The final layer produces the network's output. Feed-forward network can be used for any kind of input to output mapping. Feed-forward backpropagation network is simple. The application of backpropagation produced into the feed-forward networks such that every time the output vector is presented, it is compared with the desired value and the error is computed. Next, cascade forward backpropagation. Cascade forward networks are similar to feed-forward networks, but require a connection from the input and every previous layer to following layers. As with forward networks, two or more layer cascade network can learn any finite input-output relationship arbitrarily well given enough hidden neurons. Next, perceptron. Perceptrons are the simple single layer binary classifiers, which divide the input space with a linear decision boundary. Perceptron can learn to solve a narrow range of classification problems. They were one of the first neural networks to reliably solve a given class of problem, and their advantage is a simple learning rule. Now, result in conclusion. In this world, a relative-based recognition system is implemented. It makes a capture from a mobile device or webcam. Voice detection is the first step in face recognition system, while a Jones method is used for face detection. BPA is used for feature extraction. classification process is done using PP double N and RBF and N. The neural networks aim to provide artificial intelligence to the system. Neural networks using back propagation and radial basis function is presented for face recognition. This method can be a suitable extent for moving. The BPNN method is preferred over neural networks method because of this unique ability to minimize errors. The use of BPNN show acceptable results. The recognition rate is increased when combined BPNN with RBFNN. From this result, it can be concluded that this method has the acceptance ratio is more than 90% and execution time about a few seconds. The result of the experiment indicate the RBF the NN achieved the best performance while allowing less neural in the hidden layer. The RBF and method shows also to be less sensitive to the choice of the training set. This method can be suitable extended for moving images and in the image with following background. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.